This is The Sports Life.
And they're on their feet here at the Breslin Center. What a senior day and what a way to cap off this amazing season for Michigan State. So we got a final score from East Lansing. Michigan State wraps it up in grand style. The final score, Michigan State 79, Michigan 62.
And welcome into the Sports Life. We'll team in here along with Dalton Shetler. Good memories if you're a Spartan fan. You win the Big Ten by 3 full games, and you put the little exclamation point on the season by beating Michigan. Doesn't get better than that if you're a Spartan, right?
Not at all.
Well, we have a really fun show lined up for today. We're kind of all over the board with some interesting topics, and one of them is we're going to talk about the Peach Bowl. No, we're not going to talk about who's playing in the Peach Bowl. We're not going to go down that kind of road. But we're going to explore the mission and the journey of the Peach Bowl and how, in many ways, Dalton, I think it's more than just a couple of good teams playing.
Completely agreed. And I think it's going to be well worth the listeners' time to learn the origin and background of the Peach Bowl. But look, we just played the Big Ten championship call for Michigan State last year in men's basketball. It had us thinking a little bit. Look, this drought has extended to 26 years now for the Big Ten Conference without having a national champion. The last one to do it was Michigan State back in the year 2000. We'll reflect on that squad led by the Flintstones to hoist the hardware for the Big Ten Conference. And we're going to have a little bit of fun here on this show. It's going to be unique, a little bit different, but we're going to have Will, myself, and the executive producer, Wendy Hart, all in a round table discussing our favorite sports movies because we were feeling kind of in the spirit when we came back from the holidays.
Okay, I'm in. So it looks to me like we're going to do some basketball for the sounds of the week.
Yeah, we just played that Big Ten championship call for Michigan State men's basketball. What a ride that was. As the Big Ten starts to ramp back up for this season here in 2026 now after the holiday break, take a look back at what was really a historic run from the Spartans to close out the year. And you have to start maybe with where the win streak started for the Spartans again. On February 15th by defeating Illinois, the Spartans get the win in Champaign.
This game is now in the record books. And with this win here in Champaign tonight, history has finally been made and a new record is set. And the bar one more time has been raised by Tom Izzo. The final score from Champaign, Illinois is Michigan State 79, Illinois 64. And Tom Izzo now owns the most conference wins in the history of this great Big Ten basketball conference.
It was an amazing thing for Tom Izzo. That's one thing. By the way, at one point that was a full house at the State Farm Arena. And I think the only guys that were excited were us, all right, because the Illinois fans were just in shock. But the reality of it is Michigan State had a disastrous road trip to the West Coast. They went out there 9-0 in the Big Ten, lost back-to-back to Southern Cal and UCLA, came back somehow and beat Oregon at home after being down big time in the first half, then lost to a struggling Indiana team at home. So that's 3 losses in 4 games, and the Illinois game started off awful. So at the end of the day, that was the critical game. If you don't get that one, it's over.
Yeah, and to your point, you were down 16 to Illinois at one point in that game. You find a way to come back and get that win, but okay, it's a nice moment. But now here comes number 13 Purdue into your building at the Breslin Center. But Michigan State stood tall. They get the win here by 9 against the Boilermakers. Here's what the moment seemed like when Purdue visited East Lansing.
Over to Lloyd, he'll try an NBA type 3. It's good. But it doesn't make any difference because this game is over. The final score from East Lansing in a critical Big Ten contest is Michigan State 75, Purdue 66. Up next, we're going to Ann Arbor to try to take the Big Ten lead.
And think about that. Well, number one, playing Purdue is great as long as it doesn't go at Mackey Arena. That's behind it, right? So that was a huge win. And then going to Michigan, I mean, we all know rival games are hard anyway, especially at their place. And to think that this game at Michigan was so important, besides just you want to have little bragging rights, what a day that was.
Oh, and you're talking about how highly ranked Illinois was, how good they were last year. You talk about Purdue, we mentioned that they're ranked in the top 15. Michigan ranked 12 when Michigan State comes to Ann Arbor for this meeting between Michigan State and Michigan.
Ball knocked away by Holloman, but he gets it back. Now goes over to Jones, and it's taken away on the break is Akins, and that will do it. This game is all but over.
He finished it with the steal and the slam. Great defense by Jaden Akins.
Wolf for a 3-ball, pops out, rebound Cooper. We got 23 seconds to go. The shot clock is off, and Michigan State is heading back to East Lansing in first place in the Big Ten.
And that game was almost the same scripts of some of the other games. Down in the first half, come back, finish strong, and put it away. And there was more goodness to come against Michigan.
There was at the end of the season, but now you follow that one, and okay, the murderer's row continues. Now you have number 16, Maryland. How many ranked opponents are we talking about in a row for Michigan State?
All of them.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So now they find themselves at number 16, Maryland, in College Park, where the prayer really, this might be the biggest symbol of the prayer that stretch was for Michigan State. It was answered thanks to Trey Holloman.
Holloman working on Queen at the free throw line. 3 on the shot clock. The ball goes down low. Kohler bank shot, no good. It is no good, and Gillespie got the rebound. They can go for the win here. Here comes a 3 for the win, and he missed. Rebound. Holloman, he tries. Oh, he makes it. He makes it. Does it count?
Wow!
He's at half court. Doesn't count.
They're going to take a look at it, but Trey Holloman with a shot of the year.
The basket is good. And for Holloman, he got it.
He got it.
Yes. And Michigan State, in dramatic fashion, gets a critical Big Ten road win. The final score is Michigan State 58. Maryland's got 55.
Well, that's just the way it goes when you're on your way to winning a championship. I mean, half-court shots. Gillespie had a great look to win it for Maryland. I mean, you can go on, but that is one of the most magnificent moments in MSU basketball history.
No, it really is, and think about it. It's just one of several buzzer beaters Michigan State's had against Maryland somehow for game winners. Then after that, it's number 11 Wisconsin coming to town, but Michigan State still will not stub their toe and stumble. They beat number 11 Wisconsin, the final there, 71-62, and then it's a road trip to Iowa City, which would see the Spartans ultimately be able to call themselves Big Ten champions.
9.4 seconds left in this basketball game. MSU on the way to a Big Ten championship outright. Sanford for a 3, no good. 2 seconds, 1 second. Here's a shot by Iowa. This game is over, and MSU has claimed the Big Ten championship outright on the road at Iowa. The final score from Iowa City, Michigan State 91, Iowa 84.
What's amazing, all these big wins in this stretch, Illinois and the record for Izzo and getting out of that losing streak, the half-court shot against Maryland, clinching the title against Iowa, they're all road games.
I know. It really is remarkable. And again, such good competition, but the win streak now sits at 6. Bump it up to 7 as Michigan State would defeat Michigan on Senior Day. And again, another ranked Michigan team, ranked 17th at this time. It ends with some fireworks with the scuffle at half court during the Senior Day celebrations. But ultimately, it's all smiles for the Spartans as Michigan State beats Michigan yet again.
Trey Holloman at the point right now for Michigan State, directing traffic. Finally gives it up to Kohler, top of the circle. Bounce pass to a cutting Richardson. There's a slam for you.
Michigan trying to pressure and a beautiful door cut by Richardson.
And now MSU takes it away. Kohler, he slams it.
What a steal by Akins, and Michigan State absolutely dominant.
And they're on their feet here at the Breslin Center. What a senior day, and what a way to cap off this amazing season for Michigan State.
It'd be surprising to see if Michigan even tries to shoot, and they won't.
So we got a final score from East Lansing. Michigan State wraps it up in grand style. The final score, Michigan State 79, Michigan 62.
And with that, Michigan State would be Big Ten champions by 3 full games. Not bad for a team picked middle of the pack, maybe good enough to make the tournament. They win by 3 full games, and they're playing one ranked team after another to get it done. Just amazing. And they do get to the Elite Eight, just a whisker away from the Final Four. What a year last year for Michigan State. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about one of the great things going on in sports, and it's called the Peach Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Dad. Did you get a new haircut or something? A new shirt? You're looking good.
What happened?
A little fender bender?
How little?
A few days in the shop little? But thanks to Mom and our agent, we've already submitted a claim and can track the status right from the app. Auto owners pays what they owe without any hassle.
Sounds like simple human sense.
I'm fine, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask.
Ask your independent agent if auto owners make sense for you.
Every kid deserves a chance to feel safe, to have their own bed, to be loved and cared for. That's why I love my foster parents. They make me feel like part of the family.
Raise hope and foster dreams for one of 13,000 Michigan children in foster care. Visit michigan.gov/hope for a home or call 855-MICH-KIDS. That's 855-MICH-KIDS. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of uncertainty lurking under your hood. You know the feeling. I know I do. That sudden sinking sensation when you see a check engine light or your car unexpectedly breaks down and you're faced with sky-high repair bills. It's time to shield against unexpected repairs with CarShield. CarShield is America's most trusted auto protection company and has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Don't let the fear of a breakdown keep you up at night. Trust the Shield, CarShield, and say goodbye to terrifying repair bills and hello to peace of mind. Your plan also comes with 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, rental car options, and so much more. Don't wait till it's too late. Call CarShield now before a breakdown. Protect your wallet. Protect your car with CarShield. Get our best protection ever. Call now. You'll thank me later. 800-965-1292. 800-965-1292. That's 800-965-1292.
We'll be back with more in a moment. This is The Sports Life.
Roxanne Watson is on a mission.
Hello, how are you doing today?
She wants more people to register as organ, eye, and tissue donors.
Are you an organ donor? Yes, I am.
Yay.
My goal is to sign up the most people in the United States.
What drives her? Roxanne's own life was saved through the gift of a heart transplant, made possible by an organ donor.
I decided that day that I was going to devote myself to the cause of organ donation and signing people up and honoring my donor by doing that.
Now she's back to health, and she's a powerful force helping to save lives every day through her work. Imagine what you can make possible by leaving behind the gift of life.
8 people can be helped with the major organs, and up to 50 people can be helped with a little bit of everything. And when you think about it that way, that you could help that many people, it's amazing. It really is.
Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
And welcome back for more of the Sports Life. Will Tiemann here, along with Dalton Shetler. Well, today's football landscape, if you go all the way back to 1968, was a lot different than it is today. And we picked 68 because that's the year the Peach Bowl came into existence. And at that moment in time, it was one of only 9 bowl games to be played. Well, over time, the Peach Bowl lost some of its glitter until Gary Stokan became the Peach Bowl CEO and president. Under Stokan's leadership, the Peach Bowl, which is based in Atlanta, Georgia, has posted 22 sellouts in 24 years. Not bad. Now, during a chat we had with Gary, we talked about the reaction his staff had one day when he walked into a meeting and said, "We have a plan to return the Peach Bowl to elite status."
I think they wanted to do it. They didn't know how to do it. And so it took, creating the vision and plotting it out, and then you had to have some successes. I remember Mel Tucker was on the staff at LSU in 2000. And I got a call. I'd never known Nick Saban. In 2000, I get a call. It's my second year. And he says, Gary, we've got to get to the Peach Bowl. We're trying to create a brand down here at LSU. And I went down and met with him, came back, and I was in charge of selecting the teams then. And I went to my committee, and I said, we're going to take LSU. And they said, no way. I was in my second year. And I said, why not? And they said, well, we had some other coach at LSU, I won't name his name, but he didn't do a very good job of promoting the game, selling tickets prior to 2000. And I said, well, I've talked to the head coach. He's going to do this, and I'll put my job on the line. If they don't do this and they don't do what he said he was going to do, then you can fire me. And I remember calling Nick Saban. I called his house, and Terry Saban said, please tell me we're coming to Atlanta. Please, please, please. I said, well, pack your bags. You're heading to Atlanta. And she said, woo! They came up. They won the game. And that year they won that game. The recruiting class that they had was the class that won the national championship in 2003. And so, I built a relationship with Nick. I did something for him that he really needed desperately to happen. And so those are the type of things that I found that most of this business in athletics is one-on-one relationships. And it's say what you're going to do and do what you're going to say, and make sure that you follow up and make sure it happens, because, as I said, a lot of people create a vision, but it's Pollyanna. You got to make it happen. And the execution of it is that's the tough thing. I mean, I remember the Hall of Fame signing up and being a lobbyist and meeting with all the legislators and everything to try and get approval from the state. And I mean, it's just funny, all the things you have to do. You think back on them now, I get thoughts in my head. And that's the tough part. People just see the end product, but they don't see all the hard work. But that's what I enjoy. I mean, that's what it's all about, the people, So, I've been blessed too. I mean, some people say it's luck. I think it's, the big man upstairs looking out for me.
Next up for Gary Stokan was trying to find a way for Atlanta to become the new home of the College Football Hall of Fame.
It's funny, I called corporations. I called the football people like George Morris, who was in the Hall of Fame, kind of about 25 people, and I had a lunch at the Capital City Club in Atlanta, which is kind of the business leaders' place where they go to lunch. And I provided the vision. I said, look, we have an opportunity here. And I said, it's not going to be easy because there's going to be other people. And I negotiated a deal to get an exclusive 1 year. If we could show that, we could raise the money and everything in 1 year, then we would get it. Because Jerry Jones in Dallas had the mayor, Roger Staubach, Emmett Smith, Jerry Jones, and there was someone else, I can't remember who else, I think it was Troy Aikman. He called a press conference and said, we're moving the Hall of Fame to Dallas. And little did he know, I had a 1 year exclusive that I had negotiated. And, I got Chick-fil-A and Coca-Cola and, Home Depot and all of our corporate Fortune 500 companies to rally around this. And I remember Governor Perdue, who worked for President Trump as his agriculture chairman, he was our governor. And I told him, I've got to present to the board of the NFF in Dallas. And he was ready he had a 1 day off. He was going hunting in South Georgia. And I said, Governor, I need you to go with me and make this presentation. He said, Gary, I'll go with you. And so I remember selling the governor. And he took his day off, and he went down there, spent the night in the hotel. We made the presentation, and they voted 39-1 to move to Atlanta. That was one of my great days to have that board, which is a who's who, say, yeah, we'll commit to come to Atlanta, move from South Bend. So it took that group in Atlanta, the corporate people, the state legislative people, some of the hotel people and hospitality people to all rally around, but we got it done, and that's a chapter in my book. I could almost write a whole book on that one.
What really separates the Peach Bowl from others is that it is a charity-driven bowl game. And for the record, it is college football's most charitable bowl organization. Since 2002, the Peach Bowl has donated $58.2 million to charities.
We recently made a commitment of $20 million to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta to fund trials and create drugs to eradicate childhood cancer. We now have 7 trials that actually have little kids in them because the toxicity of these drugs, you have to do it on animals first, and then you have to do it in adults, and then you finally get to kids. And so we've got 7 trials now that are in one form or fashion have little kids in them, and hopefully, over the next 5 years, we're going to continue to fund this. We fund it every year with our Touchdown for Children's, where people can make a donation for every touchdown their team scores. Teams typically score 60 to 70 touchdowns a year, and we match it. And so this year we've raised $200,000, so we're going to match it, so it'll be $400,000. Before COVID, we had raised $500,000, and we matched it, so it was $1 million. So we're going to keep funding this, and hopefully we find a cure in the next 5 years. Some of the doctors are telling us they may, between leukemia, brain tumors, solid tumors, there's some really creative things that they're doing, and hopefully our funds can get it over the goal line, and we find some cures for childhood cancer. Because I tell my staff, I said, we're not a bowl game for a bowl game's sake. We're a means to an end. We're using college football to impact people's lives, right? So that's one of the great things about our bowl, and not to denigrate any other bowl, they're all great bowl games, but we have a different mission in mind, whether it's to fund the College Football Hall of Fame or eradicate childhood cancer.
An amazing story about what the Peach Bowl was all about in Gary Stokan, the driving force behind it all. Back with more in just a moment.
So, got one for you, boss.
Oh, yeah?
What's black, white, and dented all over?
I give up.
The company truck. I know, but thanks to our agent, we've already submitted an insurance claim and can track the status right from the app. Auto owners pays what they owe without any hassle.
Lucky for you, that's simple human sense.
Ask your independent agent if auto owners make sense for you.
Here's a real-life story that affects 50% of all of us out there. It's called divorce. If you've gotten divorced and now you're struggling to pay your bills and your credit card debts are completely out of control, you need to call this special debt relief hotline right now. We help people with all kinds of money problems caused by different life challenges, a divorce, a job loss, even heavy medical bills. All these life events can sometimes financially stress you out and cause you to get out of control. We help people get their lives back by showing them ways to consolidate and reduce their debt, in some cases for a fraction of what they owe. If your credit card balances are more than $10,000, call us and learn how to reduce your credit card bills and monthly payments now. Here's our number.
Paid for by Debt.com. Call now, 800-810-1584, 800-810-1584, 800-810-1584. That's 800-810-1584.
That ought to do it. Totally energy efficient.
Oh no, not again. This time, we're getting help.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the battle of energy efficiency improvements. In this corner, Mr. I can save money and do it on my own. And in this corner, Miss Let's get it done right with some help. Fight!
Or you could just go to avoidenergydrama.com. From sealing your home to helpful loan options, you'll find all the tips and tools you need to stop wasting energy and stay comfortable. Avoidenergydrama.com. Brought to you by Michigan Saves.
We'll be back with more in a moment. This is The Sports Life.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see. Depression won't show up on an eye chart, and you can't measure it on your bathroom scale. Sorting out a mental health concern is not something to attempt on your own. You won't find a bipolar disorder by looking at a thermometer. Like many other health conditions, help for mental illness takes professional diagnosis and treatment. Anxiety won't just go away under a stick-on bandage. So the sooner you seek treatment, the better. If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. Find out what to do. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support. That's samhsa.gov/support.
And welcome back for more of the Sports Life. Will Tiemann here along with Dalton Shetler. And don't forget, Auto Owners Insurance, simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners make sense for you. Well, we've all come out of the holiday season, and I don't know about you, Dalton, but we were hanging out with the family, watching movies, and which got Dalton and I talking about some of our favorite sports movies that we kind of visited during the holiday break. Well, joining us is just not a pretty face. Wendy Hart, our executive producer. She finally gets to make a real appearance on the show that she's been working on for years.
I was going to say, I think this is the Sports Life debut, right?
I think it is. Now, The Wizard of Oz is a topic now with the remakes, the movies.
Sure.
And so maybe I am the wizard coming out from behind the curtain.
Maybe.
I like it.
And you'll promptly send me back.
Or maybe we just come visit more.
Hey, I was going to say, I think you're coming back at the end of the show, too, maybe. So I don't think we're sending you anywhere.
Here we go. What we're going to do now, the three of us are going to go through our top 5 sports movies with some honorable mentions. And I will add one disclaimer. I don't know how you pick 5. I mean, I really don't. But we did. Okay. So I'm going to go first with my honorable mentions, and then we'll go around the horn.
Floor is yours.
Okay, you ready? These are my honorable mentions, and probably most people listening have not seen these movies. But these are movies I visit all the time. It's a great movie from 1949. It's a baseball movie called It Happens Every Spring. It's about a college professor who loves baseball, loves the St. Louis Cardinals, needs some extra bucks because he wants to marry his gal, doesn't make much as a college professor, and somehow it comes up with some crazy formula. If he sticks a baseball in it, it's wood repellent. So he goes to see the St. Louis Cardinals and says, give me $1,000 a game, I win. Of course, it's wood repellent baseball. So he wins a lot of games.
That's right.
And the Cardinals win the pennant. Okay. Also, Long Gone, it was on HBO in 1987. William Peterson is the star of that. I won't go into great detail, but it's a great redemption movie. It's a beat-up old minor league team. And all the characters are sort of misfits, but they sort of find themselves in redemption. That's a big-time movie. And F1 came out with Brad Pitt. People loved that movie, right? Called it maybe the greatest racing movie of all time. Well, I will challenge that because Grand Prix in 1996 came out with James Gardner, and they had no special effects. They had nothing. They literally, when you saw them racing, they were in the middle of the race. And Formula One gave them access like you can't believe. So I love F1, but you got to see Grand Prix. Okay, those are my honorable mentions.
It's a loaded list. What do you got, Wendy?
Honorable mention for me, and I think Dalton may have peeked at this already, so he'll probably agree with this. So This came from my daughter. Cars, animated franchise, notably the first movie and the third movie, and she feels that had it not been an animated film, Oscar-worthy.
Wow, it is really good. I mean, life is a highway. It's still, that soundtrack just hooks you in each time.
Dalton singing, that's a first. There we go.
And that's all I got.
And Toe Mater. Gotta love Toe Mater, a part of Cars too.
Okay.
For honorable mention, look, the way I put together my list, you guys know, and I don't know if our listeners know to this degree, I'm not a very good pop culture professional here, right? Like I'm not a huge movie buff. So I went with the ones that are personal to me. These are not the top 5 best all time because I haven't seen all of them that I should have seen. So these are top 5 best to me, my favorites. And my honorable mention is Field of Dreams.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I watch it, it still gives me the goosebumps, people will come, Ray. People will most definitely come. Like, all of it, it just carries so much weight that it didn't make my top 5 as personal to me, but it has to be mentioned here.
And James Earl Jones with that voice, when he says they'll come, you believe it.
It just grabs your spine.
And also Big Ten grad, University of
right.
Michigan.
That's right.
And it's a sports movie, but it's also not a sports movie.
Right.
So even if you're not a sports fan, you can love that movie.
Yeah.
Okay, there's our honorable mentions. Now we're going to go around the table, and we're all going to pick number 5.
All right.
Okay? My number 5 is A League of Their Own. It's a baseball movie about the American Girls Professional Baseball League. Came out in 92. Great lines came out of that. Tom Hanks should have got an Oscar for saying there's no crying in baseball, but that's just my opinion. But it's a fabulous movie, and it's a piece of history. And it just, I've watched it a million times. So anyway, that's my number 5.
Okay.
So I've already cheated. I have 2 number 5s, so I have a tie.
That didn't take you long in your debut.
Right.
Welcome to the sports life.
And these are both movies I saw as a young kid. I'm not as old as these movies, but I've carried them with me, and if they're on, I'll definitely watch them or put them in. So 1944, National Velvet, Elizabeth Taylor, Mickey Rooney. He's a crusty former jockey, and her name is Velvet, and she's got a horse named Pie, and they end up training the horse and running it in England's Grand National Sweepstakes, and it's just a great movie, and she's like 12 when she made the movie. And then 1942, Pride of the Yankees, you can't go wrong. Gary Cooper playing Lou Gehrig. Gary Cooper's right-handed, Lou Gehrig's left-handed, so there's a lot of lore about the trickery in the filming. Was he on the left side batting or the right side? And then how did they flip? Did they flip the film? And I think a lot of it, who knows, but there are a few special effects in that one.
It is a great movie, and I think it is true. When he was at the plate, he ran to third, not first, so they had the effect.
See, and this is one of the things that you guys are so much better at than I, of knowing the history and some of the tricks of the trade that these movies had to pull together to be made. And one of the history pieces I actually know about when it comes to a sports movie actually comes in at my number 5, and it's Rocky. And for Sylvester Stallone to be on the streets, I mean, dead broke, and he has to get rid of his dog before he's finally able to convince somebody to take the script of Rocky. And as soon as that gets bought and it turns into a major success, the first thing he does is go back and get his dog.
Yes.
I mean, besides the fact of how classic of a movie and how American it makes you feel with the movie Rocky, that story, it always tickles the heartstrings.
Okay, so there's our honorable mentions and number 5.
That's right.
Okay. Here's my number 4. And if you look this one up, the first thing they say is box office bomb. So, but I love this movie.
But number 4.
But number 4 on my list, it's called For the Love of the Game. It came out in 1999, starring Kevin Costner. And the reason why I love it, like all baseball movies, it's about the characters. But it might be the finest baseball movie I've ever seen because Kevin Costner, college pitcher, was the pitcher in the game. He threw so many pitches they had to stop production or blown his arm out. But if you look at the actual baseball part, it's unbelievable. And the whole deal is he's making a decision. Is he going to retire as a Detroit Tiger or be traded at the end of the season? He's an aged pitcher. And so at the end of the day, well, it's been out since 1999. I guess people have seen it, but he's working on a perfect game. Mm-hmm. That's the story. And the other thing that's so cool about it, Vin Scully is the announcer. Vin Scully at his best with a partner. But anyway, so that's my number 4 for Love of the Game. Probably most of you didn't see it because that's why it's called a box office bomb. Okay. Wendy, what is your number 4?
All right, my number 4 is Draft Day 2014. Ivan Reitman, who made some of the great films of the 80s and 90s. Very watchable, modern times. Kevin Costner, again, he's been in a lot of sports movies. Sonny Weaver Jr., he's the general manager of the Cleveland Browns. They actually filmed some of the sequences of the draft at the 2013 NFL draft. They had Chris Berman, Mel Kiper Jr., Roger Goodell in those scenes, and actually before the draft, they had everything set up and they filmed some of these scenes. And Dennis Leary is the coach. Love story, sports story, winning story. It's just it's an easy, fun watch.
It's a great day for the Cleveland Browns. They had to make a movie to get one, but they got one.
Finally, somehow they do. Number 4 for me, we've had a lot of baseball on this list so far, but I'm going back to the diamond, Bull Durham. Bull Durham is one of those that I was introduced to, and my family would present to me a lot of films that were made from before my time. And a lot of them I'd look at and be like, okay, like I'm not sure if it really is still today. That one, the humor in Bull Durham, still just gripped me and grabbed me right from the get-go. And yeah, that comes in at number 4 for me.
That is a great movie. It just really is. It just really is. Are we ready for number 3?
Yes.
We are.
Okay. For a guy that can't ice skate, my number 3 is Miracle. And, of course, that's about the 1980 Olympic team. Centers around how Herb Brooks, the old Minnesota coach, and his story and how he put this team together and how they beat the Russians. But it also gave us one of the greatest sports lines of all times, Al Michaels. Do you believe in miracles? I mean, I get choked up thinking about it.
And they tried to get him to recreate it, and they could never get him to say it quite the way he did in the moment, so they ended up using the original call in that movie.
Yeah. And think about this. That game was on tape delay.
It's ridiculous.
America did not see that game live. It was already played. It aired in the evening. They played it in the afternoon.
It's wild.
Do you believe in miracles? I do.
Yes. My number 3 is back to one of Will's honorable mentions, or I've already forgotten, but he's already mentioned it. Grand Prix, 1966, directed by John Frankenheimer. In my mind, is one of the greatest opening sequences in a movie ever. It grabs you right away. The cinematography is fantastic. As Will mentioned, they filmed it throughout the 1966 Formula One season, the real-life footage, and it ends. The movie concludes at the Italian Grand Prix. It's got everything, and plus James Garner.
Even Marie Saint wasn't bad.
Right.
Definitely going to have to check that out. Number 3 for me, look, I'm guessing this is only going to be on my list, and this is, again, the qualifier of personal to me. I was in junior high at the time this came out, but semi-pro. Semi-pro to me, the comedy in that one, especially for somebody 12 to 13 years old, just was hilarious. And Jackie Moon, there was a lot of Halloween costumes for people in my grade and my age group. But your player, your owner, your coach, Jackie Moon, in the Flint Tropics, that's number 3 for me.
What was that? They gave away like $1 million or something.
But he couldn't get the check to cash it.
Right.
And he goes, Will Ferrell says, well, maybe you should try a bigger bank for that big check.
Well, I don't know if you guys have this on your list, but number 2 for me is Hoosiers. It's all about the story that was a real-life story of the Milan High School basketball team in 1954, little bitty school. And in those days in Indiana, all teams were in there, no classes. So this little bitty school finds a way to win the state championship. Hoosiers is a recreation of that story. Gene Hackman is fabulous. It's wonderful. It's my number 2.
My number 2, Will's already mentioned it, Moneyball. I love it. I love that it's slow. I really like the pacing of that movie. Obviously, Aaron Sorkin won the Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay, based on the book by Michael Lewis, if you want to read it. Anytime it's on, I'll watch it. I watch it on a plane. It's got great lines. Highly recommended. 2011.
Okay. Very good. Very good. My number 2 actually has already been mentioned as well by Will. So thanks, Will. You're just taking everybody's list here. No, I'm teasing. But Miracle. Miracle is one that, just for all the memories and reasons you mentioned, the way it hits home still when you watch it, that's going to be number 2 for me.
You ready for number 1?
Ooh, drum roll.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. My number 1 is probably a lot of people's number 1 is Rocky. I mean, 1976, just an amazing film. Dalton's already talked about this. Sylvester Stallone wrote it, starred in it. They had no money to produce it. I think they did the whole film in 28 days. They're using charge cards, whatever it took. And it was just a fabulous, fabulous movie. And I'm going to give you some numbers here, Dalton. You like numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It cost $1.1 million to make Rocky. Their box office was $225 million. I think Stallone bought a new car. Yeah, I think he was good. Right. And you said he got his dog back.
That's right.
Maybe he got 2 dogs. Who knows?
Well, my number 1 is also Rocky. And my short list is When it came out, I immediately went down the street to the movie theater and saw it in the theater. I love that it's got a holiday in it, Thanksgiving. I've run the steps at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. I've seen the statue. Also saw the short-lived Broadway musical at the Winter Garden Theater in New York City. It was incredible. They recreated the Philadelphia Spectrum, and they had the boxing ring come out of the stage into like the first 12 rows of the audience. It was amazing. Obviously from 1976, that's an iconic movie.
Absolutely it is. That's pretty good.
Here we go, Dalton. What's your number one?
From the state of Indiana, it's Hoosiers.
Yeah.
They would, in high school, elementary, they would put the movie on every year in class. You'd sit and watch. I mean, it's just a part of the fiber of what it is to grow up in that state. It encapsulates the passion that everybody has in that state for high school basketball and so on. Hoosiers, for me, is a layup. I should actually note, as an aside, my high school was considered for the setting for the final sequence of that movie. Obviously, it ended up being at Hinkle, but my high school was in consideration for it. They came and scouted it, took a look at it, didn't have enough seats, so that's why I ended up going to Hinkle. But the old gym in Butler, Indiana was in consideration for it. So take a moment, listeners, and Google the old gym, and you'll see exactly all the Hoosier history kind of pour through those images and why it means so much to us.
So there you go. In the wide world of sports, those are our top 5 films, our honorable mentions, and we all know we left a lot of great ones off. But everybody needs a list, right? So there's our list. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the last time the Big Ten won a men's Division I basketball championship. It's all coming up right after this.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Dad. Did you get a new haircut or something? A new shirt? You're looking good.
What happened?
A little fender bender?
How little?
A few days in the shop little? But thanks to Mom and our agent, we've already submitted a claim and can track the status right from the app. Auto Owners pays what they owe without any hassle.
Sounds like simple human sense.
I'm fine, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask.
Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you.
So I graduated last year and got a job. Sweet! But it got boring. I didn't really have a purpose. Then I started volunteering with Community Action. It's a statewide network with 29 agencies across Michigan. Community Action helps people with food, housing, utilities, childcare, senior services, you name it. I found my purpose, helping people, changing lives. Won't you join me? Call 1-855-MI-ACTION or go to MichiganCommunityAction.org. Sponsored by Michigan Community Action and Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
This is a potter's field. When people can't pay for their funerals, they are buried here. It is a lonely, desolate place, littered with unmarked headstones. No one visits. No one leaves flowers. But it doesn't have to be that way. For as low as $1 a day, you can ensure your family will have the money to pay your funeral expenses. We offer burial insurance plans that pay up to $30,000. Considering the average funeral costs more than $10,000, that's peace of mind for your family. There are no medical exams, your rates won't increase, and your policy cannot be canceled as long as you make your premium payments. Call now to get approved in minutes and ensure your final resting place is more than just a pauper's grave in a potter's field.
800-562-2407. 800-562-2407. 800-562-2407. That's 800-562-2407. Paid for by Final Expense Direct.
We'll be back with more in a moment. This is The Sports Life.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, Visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
And welcome back to more of the Sports Life. Will Tiemann here, along with Dalton Scheller, and we're going to talk some basketball.
Yeah, we are. And, we started the show off by revisiting and celebrating what was the Big Ten championship for Michigan State men's basketball last year. What a run it was to close out the regular season, to hoist the hardware. And we've been talking a little bit, too, as Big Ten basketball gets ramped back up and we're into 2026. Michigan State's the last team to win it all for the Big Ten Conference. It's kind of hard to comprehend, but it is true. It has been coming up 26 years now that Michigan State last won the national championship, and that's the last time the Big Ten has won the national championship there on the hardwood floor. So we decided, why don't we go back to the year 2000 and start things off with head coach Tom Izzo speaking at the Capitol building to all the Spartan fans after winning the national championship.
While we were making our run, I watched this thing grow. Whereas one of the speakers said, everybody started becoming a Michigan State fan. I think we were the only team that was picked to win, that we actually had people pulling for us. Usually they pull for the underdog. But I think they saw in this team the guy next door. They didn't see somebody who acted bigger or thought they were bigger than anyone else. These players handled themselves with class, with dignity, and you should be very, very proud of what they accomplished, because it's far more than just winning a national championship. We thank you. Put it in the back of your brain. Don't ever lose this moment. It's the greatest moment I've ever had. Thank you.
Pretty special time in East Lansing, as Michigan State, of course, on April 3rd, 2000, beat Florida 89-76. But if we go back just a little bit before that, the Elite Eight, as we've heard, Michigan State and Iowa State, was one of the biggest games that entire tournament. Maybe just as big as the championship, as we'd hear from some of the players later on. And one of the guys we did get to hear from is Mateen Cleaves. I actually had a chance to catch up with him last year, and I asked him about that Iowa State game, and more specifically, that alley-oop pass to Morris Peterson. Such an iconic MSU moment, how it came about.
To be honest, it was a play that was called in the timeout. And I think Coach kind of had an idea for something else. And Mo Pete actually, I think, if I can remember, brought that play up. And he was saying, Jamar Tenzie, I think, was checking him, and he said he's been cheating the whole game. Because Jamar Tenzie used to like to get in the passing lanes and try to go for steals. And, Pete set him up. Jamar thought I was coming for Pete for a dribble handoff, and he cut back door, and, he went and made a play, man. Like he did all year, like all these guys did for me. I would just throw up lobs like Jason Richardson and Mo Pete, and these guys, I got a lot of credit for it, but they made me look good, and I threw a pass up, man. He went and got it, and I told him walking out on that floor, I said, you better catch this, no matter where, you better catch it, man. And he went up and caught it, and if you can read his lips, he was running down the court saying, I told you, and that was kind of at me and Coach Izzo, like, I told you, to run that play. So, yeah, man, what a moment.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And another one I wanted to bring up too, national championship game 2000. You guys are taking on Florida. Mm-hmm. In that game, you go down with an injury. Do you remember 20 years later what was going through your mind as you stepped off the floor in the championship game with an injury?
Just win, man. That's all I was thinking about. T-Mac, Tom McCoyak, was one of the best trainers I ever had, NBA, college, whatever, But when we went in the back and he said, he taped me up and put a brace on it, and I'm like, let's go. And that's all I was thinking about was getting back on the floor. I didn't think about my ankle being hurt, none of that. Hurry up, T-Mac, get me back on the floor. So, but I did think about, like, why? Because I had went through so much adversity, and even breaking my foot at the beginning of the season, I'm like, oh, no, God, not now, not this moment. We here at the promised land, like, we got to close the deal. And but me and T-Mac, he's been great. He was great my whole career here. Took me in the back, taped it up, put a brace on it. And that was my focus, just to get back out there and do whatever I could do to help our team win a championship.
You do get back out there, the final buzzer sounds, we see that big smile, and you kind of dancing a little bit there on the floor. Do you remember the emotion still to this day, what it was like when that happened?
Yeah, man, it's like we did it. And I thought about 1995 when I was being recruited here, and people thought I was crazy to go to Michigan State. I was talking about winning national championships at Michigan State when, they hadn't even made it to the NCAA tournament. And, I think that's something me and Coach Izzo, we share together. And when he recruited me, we talked about winning the national championship. And I think that was kind of over a lot of people's head. They didn't see the vision. And that's something that me and Coach share to this day. Is like, we saw it, we knew it, and we got a great group of guys to buy into it and sacrifice, and we made it happen. But I just thought about, all those years, everything we went through, the ups, the downs, even just being recruited by Coach Izzo and talking about winning the national championship, and we did it. This wasn't Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, Kansas. This was Michigan State, where people said, didn't see it, but we made it happen, and we did it as a collective group. But that's what was going through my mind. That's why you saw the tears flowing, and just thinking about everything we had went through up until that point to win a national championship.
Mateen Cleaves there. What a moment. The images of him crying after the game, the images of him smiling, you never forget them.
No, and he brought up in one interview that the dance was impromptu. He didn't know what to do. He was... When that goal has been in front of you, whatever your goals in life are, and then you get there, you're there, and you go, now what? Mm-hmm. We're here. But he talked about the great pass to Mo Pete. It was a late run to beat Iowa State, 23-5, that propelled them. And the other intriguing story was playing Wisconsin for the fourth time. And to say that the Badgers played slow ball in those days was an understatement. They win that one 53-41, and I still remember everybody going, well, they can't keep up with Florida. Florida will run them off the court. Well, obviously they had not seen Michigan State play because the Spartans could play any game you want, slow, fast, and the rest is history as we celebrate the championship. Michigan State winning it all for the Big Ten and for the Spartan Nation, and we're still waiting for another national championship for the conference. Back with more of our Sports Life in just a moment.
So, got one for you, boss.
Oh, yeah?
What's black, white, and dented all over?
I give up.
The company truck. I know, but thanks to our agent, we've already submitted an insurance claim and can track the status right from the app. Auto owners pays what they owe without any hassle.
Lucky for you, that's simple human sense.
Ask your independent agent if auto owners make sense for you.
So I graduated last year and got a job. Sweet! But it got boring. I didn't really have a purpose. Then I started volunteering with Community Action. It's a statewide network with 29 agencies across Michigan. Community Action helps people with food, housing, utilities, childcare, senior services, you name it. I found my purpose, helping people, changing lives. Won't you join me? Call 1-855-MI-ACTION or go to MichiganCommunityAction.org. Sponsored by Michigan Community Action and Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
If you have diabetes, listen up. If you have insurance, you can qualify for a continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends and spend more time in range, significantly lowering your A1C. More importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate, painful finger sticks. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you use insulin and if you've seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for your own CGM right now. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Medicare and most insurances will cover your CGM, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the Aptiva Medical CGM Health Hotline right now.
800-948-6912. 800-948-6912. 800-948-6912. That's 800-948-6912.
We'll be back with more in a moment. This is The Sports Life.
Anybody ready for a burger?
I'm State Fire Marshal Rich Miller, reminding everyone to think safety first when it comes to outdoor grilling, whether it's charcoal or gas. Never overload your grill with food. Excess fat and grease will create large flames. Grill outdoors and never inside or in a garage. Never leave a grill unattended and always keep a fire extinguisher nearby. For more tips on safe grilling, visit the Bureau of Fire Services website at michigan.gov/BFS.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for children and teens. Hospital and doctor visits, prescriptions, shots, and more are covered. That's peace of mind for parents if a child is sick or gets injured. And parents may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if they've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit InsureKidsNow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And welcome back for more of the Sports Life. Will Tiemann here along with Dalton Shetler. Had a fun show. Talked about the last time the Big Ten won a men's basketball championship, Division I, and we had a deep dive into our favorite sports movies. Well, we've asked our executive producer, Wendy Hart, to come back and join us for parting shots because we're going to do that a little differently this time.
Yeah, we most certainly are. We're going to be taking a look at, since we did sports movies, why not sports songs? So what are our favorites when it comes to sports and music? So anybody want to go first? Anybody want to lead off?
You can go first.
I found the mirror.
Well, speaking of leading off, that ties into my song. So I will go first. A little history as a child of the Chicago area. Mm-hmm. So I grew up a Chicago Cubs fan. And this song was written in 1908 as a waltz. And is now the unofficial anthem of baseball. Take me out to the ball game.
Oh. Well, that's really good.
That is.
That's why you're in charge.
Yeah.
Okay, should I go next?
Sure.
Okay. This is so unimaginative, Rocky. I just think that's the greatest song when it comes to sports in the world for me. You hear it, you want to hold up your hands, you know what it's all about. And I want to add one other thing, a soundtrack from a sports movie.
Okay.
I think it's one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. It's from the movie The Legend of Bagger Vance. It's a great movie, but what makes it work is the soundtrack. So there you go. Rocky and the soundtrack of The Legend of Bagger Vance.
I like that. You know, when we first posed the question, the first song that came to my mind was one that's played in all the different stadiums. I think college football stadiums, and immediately I think of Seven Nation Army. Dun, 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 yes. Dun. And everybody just erupting every time that plays. That was the first one that came to mind, but my real answer would be One Shining Moment.
Whoa.
Right? The basketball guys got to go with One Shining Moment, right? So that's that's my favorite.
Written by David Barrett.
I was going to say, we've told the story quite often on this program, and I'm sure we'll tell it again.
Basically right outside of East Lansing, Michigan.
Yeah.
And he wrote the song because he was didn't do so well with this gal at the bar, so he's killing time waiting for his buddy. Thank you to the lady that left.
Heartbreaks leads to Hoops Icon.
I know. Thank you so much because you gave us a great song. Well, that's fun, guys. I hope everybody's enjoyed our show. A little different, but it's fun to talk about some of these things that are really part of the fiber of sports. And we should also note that you can find us wherever you find your podcasts, like SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple. And make sure to check us out and hit subscribe. As always, thanks to the Big Ten Network. The Sports Live is produced by Dalton Shetler, and our executive producer is Wendy Hart, who just made her network debut on a microphone. And also, on behalf of Dalton, I'm Will Tiemann, and thanks for your time.